Binge drinking costs society $223 billion a year for healthcare costs, loss of work productivity, property damage from drunk driving, and expenditures related to criminal acts. Many people don't understand the risk of binge drinking, and I think it is important for everybody to know. Today I'm going to inform you about how binge drinking causes brain damage and how it can cause strokes or sudden death to some people. First, let's take a look at what exactly binge drinking is. Wikipedia defines binge drinking, or heavy episodic drinking, as the modern epoch for drinking alcoholic beverages with the primary intention of becoming intoxicated by heavy consumption of alcohol over a short period of time. According to druginfo.com, it reports that a standard drink contains 10 grams of alcohol or 12.5 milliliters of pure alcohol. Wikipedia said that binge drinking is more common in men than it is in women. 50% of men binge drink and 39% of women binge drink. Wikipedia also said that binge drinkers should be causing themselves lots of health issues, such as neurological effects, which have to do with the nervous system, cardiac effects pertains to the heart, intestinal effects pertain to stomach and intestines, and psychiatric disorders are mental illnesses such as schizophrenia, depression, or being bipolar. According to Wikipedia, binge drinking is associated with increased risk of unplanned sex, unprotected sex, unplanned pregnancy, and increased risk of HIV infection. Each year, 10% of women and 19% of men report being sexually assaulted under the influence of alcohol. 16% report being sexually taken advantage of. 8% take advantage of a person sexually. There are 183,000 rapes and sexual assaults, 197,000 robberies, and 1.7 million simple assaults. Wikipedia says that binge drinking results in brain damage faster and more severely than chronic drinking, which is also known as alcoholism. According to Wikipedia, during the repeated alcohol-free stages, there's a larger amount of glutamate released, which means when you're a binge drinker, you have a lot of time where you are alcohol-free. So glutamate, which is a salt of glutamic acid, a major amino acid in the central nervous system, gets released more. The release of the glutamate leads to intoxicity. Chronic drinking, which is otherwise known as non-stop drinking, delays alcohol-related brain injuries, while binge drinkers are immediate and repeated insults to the brain. Wikipedia says that impairments in impulse control during binge drinking is due to dysfunction of the frontal lobe, which is more prominent in female binge drinkers than male binge drinkers. According to alcoholism.about.com, binge drinking goes through the prefrontal cortex. This is the prefrontal cortex, the highlighted spot, and it's the part of the brain that's associated with paying attention, planning, making decisions, processing emotions, and controlling impulses that lead to irrational behavior. Finally, binge drinking can cause strokes or sudden death to occur in some people's cases. According to Wikipedia, binge drinking is associated with strokes and sudden death. Binge drinking increases the risk of strokes by 10 times. Wikipedia says that withdrawing from binge drinking is associated with ischemic stroke. In younger men, it is also associated with subarachnoid hemorrhoid and intracerebral hemorrhoid. Wikipedia also says that while binge drinking, you produce a dangerously high blood alcohol level, which can result in alcohol poisoning and can cause sudden death. Binge drinking can also cause death by choking on vomit, injuries from falls, fights, motor vehicle, and bicycle accidents. After hearing all of these facts about binge drinking, I hope you can help someone else understand how dangerous binge drinking really is. In conclusion, binge drinking is a horrible thing that can cause brain damage, and it can cause someone to have a stroke or even cause sudden death to someone. There are a lot of people, mostly teens and college students, that binge drink. These people don't understand that what they are doing is very harmful to their body and could kill them eventually. If you want to help stop binge drinking, talk to someone that you know that may be a binge drinker or may become a binge drinker about the side effects of binge drinking. The websites that I used were wikipedia.org, alcoholism.about.com, and druginfo.adf.org.
You done?